Hi there, Dave from GoStudy here. Welcome to another lesson in our Types of Institutions section. In this lesson, I'll tell you about colleges and universities, talk about their differences, explain public versus private institutions, and nonprofit versus for-profit schools. Our goal is to help you be well informed when researching and choosing schools to apply to. Let's get started. In the United States, the words college and university are used interchangeably and refer to institutions of higher or tertiary education. In other words, the level after high school or secondary school. For example, saying, "I plan to go to college next year" means I plan to attend a college or university after completing my secondary schooling. You may also hear the term four-year institution, which is a reference to any college or university that offers bachelor degrees that take 4 years to complete. Despite the overlapping way we use the words college and university, there are actual differences between these types of institutions. Colleges tend to be smaller, more often private, and focus on teaching leading to undergraduate degrees. Universities, on the other hand, are usually larger, public, and focus on teaching and research leading to undergraduate and graduate degrees. Because colleges are usually smaller, the student-teacher ratio is also usually smaller. This can be nice for students who feel they'd be lost in a big school with lots of large lecture classes. Likewise, student demographics usually differ at colleges and universities. Colleges typically enroll more traditional students. That is, students who began college immediately after graduating from high school. While universities also enroll lots of traditional students, especially from the state in which they're located, they also enroll lots of international students and non-traditional older students who are either working on graduate degrees or who've come back to school to complete a degree they started but didn't finish when they were younger. The differences between public and private schools can be confusing to people not familiar with the U.S. system. For the most part, it has to do with how they're funded. Public institutions receive a portion of their funding from state taxes. Because of this, we sometimes call them state schools, and the word state is often incorporated into their names. For example, Washington State University or Ohio State University. There is at least one public university in every U.S. state. Some high population states have lots of state universities managed by a state university system. The State University of New York system, for example, consists of 64 2- and 4-year institutions located throughout the state. Private institutions, on the other hand, receive no state funding and instead operate with money they earn from tuition and private donations. Like public universities, there are private schools in every state. Unlike publics, however, they operate independently of other private schools. Many offer a liberal arts curriculum, which focuses on general knowledge and critical thinking development, rather than professional, vocational, or technical studies. A school's funding model impacts its tuition costs. Because of the money they receive from the state where they're located, public institutions generally cost less than private ones. Actual costs vary significantly from school to school and by type of student, however. One reason for this is that public schools have a two-tier tuition system, one for resident or in-state students, that is, students who live in the state where the school is located, and a higher rate for non-resident or out-of-state students. Another reason is that private schools tend to offer more financial aid than public schools do. What this means for international students like you is that it's important to carefully review costs when researching different schools. There are no major differences in quality between public and private schools. Private universities like Harvard, Stanford, and Yale tend to dominate the top of ranking systems, but the overall distribution of publics and privates in rankings is fairly even. Most of the colleges and universities in the United States operate as nonprofit institutions. In recent years, however, there's been significant growth in the number of for-profit schools, whose goal is to educate students and make money for shareholders. In fact, for-profit universities now count themselves among some of the largest higher education providers in the country. For example, 2013 enrollment at the for-profit University of Phoenix was more than 440,000 students, making it the second largest higher education provider in the country. Ashford University, Kaplan University, and Walden University are other very large for-profit schools. The increase in for-profit universities has generated significant controversy in recent years, with critics calling for stricter regulations to ensure that program quality be improved and that schools' aggressive marketing practices be curtailed. Significant negative publicity has also resulted from for-profit schools enrolling students in programs that they're unlikely to complete, leaving them with no degree but lots of debt. At GoStudy, we advise international students to stay away from for-profit schools. To see if a school is for-profit, check them out online or search for For-Profit U.S. Universities. Wikipedia also has a nice article about for-profit schools that you can read using this link. Okay, that will do it for this topic. I hope this information was helpful, and I look forward to talking to you in the next lesson.